Hello, everyone. I'm going to wait a moment for people to show up. Last week we didn't get to do one of these, so hope people show up this week. I don't see anybody so far. For those of you who are watching this after the fact, in today's live stream, I'm talking about my unicorn experience, which happened a couple of years ago. And it was the unicorn experience that I even believe in any of this, because I didn't believe in unicorns or fairies before I first had a interesting unicorn experience. So we've got a few people coming in. And recently I've had kind of some dragon energy around. I don't have much of a story per se about that, but I'm definitely interested in hearing from other people. And Coco's joining us for the live stream today. Hi, guys. You see Coco in the background. This is the first time that she has actually joined us for any of the live streams. Right here. There she is. So I hope everybody is doing well. How is everybody? So I'm glad that Coco joined us for the live stream, actually, because my unicorn experience that I had in summer of 2018, this was during the 2-week, like, sort of overwhelming, series of events that I had in 2018, which I've talked about before. Kind of like a psychic, really awakening. I had some level of intuitive ability before that, but really opened up in 2018. And one of those experiences was very interesting. So I was experiencing a lot of just strange psychic phenomena. Some of it was kind of scary to me. And then let me see if I can figure out how to tell this story, because I'm not a great storyteller. So my cat, so at the time I lived in an apartment that had like a patio out back, and Coco loved to go out on the back patio and watch the squirrels and chipmunks. There were lots of squirrels and chipmunks that played in the backyard, and she loved them. She never tried to hunt them. She just loved watching them play. It made her so happy. It was like television for her. But anyway, I was having all of these weird psychic experiences, and at one point, this also involved Coco. I was sitting in my chair. Coco was on the arm of the chair, and I just lifted my arm up, and I could just feel like healing energy, like Reiki or whatever, just like pouring out of my hand onto my cat. And I could tell from her reaction that she felt it. And then I got this sort of telepathic communication from her. Yes, if you've never watched my live streams before, you're going to think that I'm bonkers, but that's okay. And she told me, or like I had this claircognizant sort of telepathic exchange with her, I don't know, that about 2 of her past lifetimes. She told me that in a past lifetime, she had been a white bunny rabbit named Strawberry, and also that she had been a unicorn, and the unicorn's name was like Trinsley or Trixley, something like that. I think it was Trixley. Hi, everybody. I was like, okay, that's interesting, but, and I've talked about some of this before. This was, within the context of a lot of wild experiences that I was having, and at that time. But then so that made me curious, I guess that was kind of the first part of my unicorn experience. And I was like, oh, are unicorns real? So I started researching it a little bit more. And did you know that unicorns are actually mentioned 9 times in the Bible? Now, I grew up in a fundamentalist Christian household. I went to church every Sunday. I never heard anybody preach about unicorns. I never once encountered these Bible verses that mentioned unicorns, but 9 times unicorns are mentioned in the Bible. Now, biblical scholars try to logic it away, and they're like, oh, that was just an interpretation of what it was. Really, maybe there were rhinoceroses and they were just called unicorns somehow, and that was just an error in translation. I don't know. But this is the thing that was an extenuation of that. So after that, I sort of felt the spirit of this unicorn past life in kind of like my backyard patio area. But it's weird because this was a different lifetime from my cat, but it's still her soul, you know. She can exist in multiple places at one time. So I felt like her unicorn self was sort of acting as a protective energy to me because I was going through all this crazy psychic experiences. And so one day I had, again, like a clear cognizant knowing that the unicorn wanted peanuts. And I was like, okay, a unicorn wants peanuts. All right, that's weird, but I'll just see what happens. So I went to the store. I was trying to find a package of peanuts and I couldn't find them. I think I was trying to find them in the shell and I couldn't find that. But anyway, I ended up getting some out of the bulk bin that were roasted and unsalted. And so I came home and I put them in a bowl and I put them in the kitchen floor. I don't know, because I was like, well, I'll put it next to where my cat's food is, because the cat and the unicorn are the same being, sort of, right? So I left it there for a day. Nothing happened. And the next day when I was looking at the bowl, I was like, you're supposed to put it outside because that's where the unicorn is. So I went outside. I put it outside on top of this little tree stump amid this little grouping of trees. And I left it there. And the next day or so, I went out and almost all of the peanuts were gone. I was like, oh my God, the unicorn ate the peanuts. And then it occurred to me, I'm like, no. There are squirrels and chipmunks out here. The squirrels and the chipmunks ate those peanuts. But then I was like, oh, but my cat wanted me to get a treat for her friends, the chipmunks and the squirrels, because she liked the chipmunks and the squirrels. So anyway, that's a very bizarre kind of story about unicorns. But I didn't believe in unicorns and fairies and gnomes and that sort of thing until that happened. It was like, you might just think I'm silly. I don't know. Maybe I am. But anyway, that was my unicorn experience. Like a decade or so ago, I was running in some metaphysical circles and I met a woman who would regularly have fairy parties. And at first I was like, well, she just likes fairies like as a concept, right? And then the more I heard her talk, I was like, oh no, she really believes in fairies. And at that time, I was just like, well, she seems sane. She doesn't seem like she has any, psychosis or anything. But I was like, that's unique. I guess there are all kinds. But now I believe in these types of things. So I'm interested to know if you all believe in unicorns and fairies and that type of thing. If you don't, that's fine. I do. It really opened up. I mean, even before that, I believed in a lot of different things, a lot of paranormal, metaphysical concepts. But yeah, that really opened it up more because I just feel like in general, there's obviously so much more that exists beyond what our human perception generally allows us to see. And the fairy experience I had since I moved into this current apartment of mine, and that also involves Coco. So I came home one day and I sat down and all of a sudden Coco started like following something. I couldn't see anything. And whatever it was moving like darting around really quick, like erratic, like going like this, and then darting from one end of the couch to the other. And she would chase it. And then it looked like it must have gone behind the couch because she couldn't see it. So it immediately to me, I thought, well, that's a fairy. And as far as I knew, I had never had a fairy experience before. But I do feel that there are like fairies and tree spirits and those types of things around this particular place where I live. And I also so I was reading about this, like trying to figure out, like, would this be a fairy, the fact that this happened? Because there was nothing like, even if it was like a flea, whatever it was, I couldn't see it. But like, what if it was a flea? Fleas don't move that quickly, for one thing. Another thing is she's seen fleas before and she has never reacted to a flea like that. If she sees a flea, she will either ignore it, or if it's on her, she'll bite at it. But she doesn't, she doesn't chase fleas around, and they also just don't move that quickly. But another thing that I read about fairies that made me really think that this was a fairy experience was a couple of days before that, I had these 4 chocolate roses. They're like long stemmed roses, and then the chocolate part was the rose. And each of the 4 were covered in a different color of foil. And I used these in one of my pick a card readings as the options. There was like a purple one, pink, red, and yellow. So after I was done with my pick a card, of course, I was like, well, now I can eat the chocolate, So I'd eaten I'd eaten 3 of them, and I knew that I had 1 left, and they were all sitting on my side table. But I couldn't find the 4th one for the life of me. I looked all around the table multiple times, underneath the chair, everywhere. And then a few days later, after I think my cat was following this fairy around, the pink rose chocolate was back, sitting behind the table. I tell you, I had looked so many times, and that rose was not there. Apparently, fairies really like sweets, and they do play tricks on people like that, where they will steal things or move things. So I was like, I really just feel like there is a fairy. Let me check some of your comments. I've wished I could see fairies and other creatures, but I've yet to come across any except in dreams. Well, it's cool. I feel like if they're coming to you in dreams, then that could just be their way of presenting to you. I don't know if I've actually seen any of these things. I mean, not that I know. I did see kind of a couple of times I saw like sort of a weird green light above me when I woke up, but then I realized it's the green light to my, there's a tiny little green light on my fire alarm. But there have been a couple mornings around this same time as well where I woke up and the green light was just so bright and it looked kind of like a fairy. I don't know. And I was like, maybe the fairy is manipulating the light and using that to sort of present herself. I don't know. But I don't think I've really seen it. It's just more like knowing about it or whatever. LA's an absolute believer. Speak Through Names. In Atlantis, unicorns were considered highly spiritual, sentient, 7th dimensional beings. So in that sense, I believe in them. Maybe that's why we don't see fossils. Maybe they sunk with lost worlds. Yeah, it could be. And LA is saying that my cat is my familiar and my best friend. She is evolved. She's very interesting. Like I often see her across the room just staring at a spot right above my head. And I've had other cats before. My cat Edgar passed a couple years ago. He was super intelligent, such a smart cat and very lovable. But I don't think he was like psychic in that quite in that way. But I do feel like there's something psychic about Coco because it's like, I don't know if she's seeing like angels or spirit guides or my aura. But I'm just like, what do you see, cat? I wish she could tell me because she just stares and stares. And it's like right above my head is what she's looking at. Miss M, I've definitely had that happen where things disappeared and just reappeared. Oh, hi, Allie. Okay. I'll be getting to questions in just a moment, but I'll definitely put you at the top of the list. So hi, Sydney. Hi, everybody here today. I feel like we have a little bit of a smaller group. I don't know if it's because this is just not a topic that's interesting to people or what, but that's okay. She's looking at angels. Yeah, I wondered that, like angels or spirit guides. But now she's just looking out the window, being real cute. So you guys got lucky because you got to see Coco on the video today. She's never been in one of my live streams yet. I don't think. Every now and then she jumps into my pick-a-card readings. So those are my unicorn and fairy experiences, I guess. Yeah, so do you all think that that was a fairy? I feel pretty certain that it was. I don't know. Yeah, she is very cute. She's adorable. She's very vocal. She's not being vocal right now, but she gets into these moods where she just wants to talk. It's almost like she's having a conversation, but like it just sounds like whining to me. And I'm like, Cat, what do you want? I really just think she just wants attention, but she likes talking. Like we'll talk back and forth. I don't know what she's saying. She doesn't know what I'm saying, but anyway, we enjoy it regardless. Now, dragons, I meant to link down below to a couple of the channels that I've been looking at about dragons. I'm curious if any of you have had dragon experiences, because this was very interesting and unique. Again, this was more of like a clairsentient knowing, and this is kind of difficult to even explain because there was a lot going on at the time. But a couple of weeks ago, I was really feeling kind of down about life and the world and kind of focused on the presence of evil in the world. I don't know if any of you have read about this Wayfair conspiracy. At first, I was like, come on, people. And then, but when you look at it and all of the screenshots people have found of things regarding Wayfair, wow, that's fascinating, Sydney. I want to get to some of your all's comments here in a moment, but I do feel like there's definitely something going on with Wayfair, and either way, there's obviously human trafficking exists, right? But I think just the idea that it could be happening in this sort of way that people literally could be buying other humans online. I don't know. It was just, and I was having some kind of like intuitive insights related to that too. And it was just making me very uncomfortable. And it's even hard to describe what it is that made me feel like there was a dragon around me, but it felt so powerful. And I went on a couple of intuitive drives. On one of these intuitive drives, meaning when I say intuitive drive, I would just let my intuition guide me just whichever roads I wanted to meander down. So I found myself about an hour away from here. So it was a pretty long intuitive drive. Under this like bridge underpass, there's a little road that went under a bridge underpass, and there was all this graffiti over here on the rock face. And then there was this metal bridge that you could kind of see the underneath part of, and there was graffiti all over it too. And it looked like, people would stop off there and hike. There was another car parked there. And on the rock face, someone had painted Epstein, like Jeffrey Epstein. And, I'm already like worked up about like the fact that all of this horrible stuff exists in the world, like at such a tremendous degree it exists in the world, and people being involved in just all kinds of disturbing stuff, not just human trafficking, but the way that I don't know, you know what I'm talking about. Maybe if you're into that, if you know something about all of that, then you know that there are some very nefarious, evil people in the world who are very money and power hungry, and they'll do whatever they can take to steal and manipulate. There are people who use magic for some very evil purposes. Magic can be used for the lightness or the darkness. And but anyway, someone had painted the name Epstein over here on the rock face. But the car that was parked in front of me had my favorite angel number, which was 444. Now, my intuition just guided me to this spot. Here is the name Epstein. Here is 444, which to me means that angels are around me at the moment that I see 444. So I felt like it was a comforting message of angels being around, and that angels are trying to help me cope with this, because it was really like overwhelming to me. Just to be aware of like, and it made me think, like there's no telling, like there could be people who we would never guess to be involved in this type of thing that perhaps are. So, and then I can't even remember exactly what it was where I felt that there was like a dragon around me, and that perhaps, there are ley lines that dragons energetically connect to, I feel like. I think that there might be some of those ley lines around where my apartment is. But I also did get this dragon that's around me. It gave me an image of itself like in my third eye, and it was black but speckled with white, kind of like the way a speckled egg looks like, but it was black and white speckled. And another thing that my guides in general had been trying to tell me at the time was, Gabby, there is evil in the world, but you're so focused on that right now that it's making you feel very scared, and you're focusing on it as if that's what 95% of reality is. And you know, and they were trying to tell me, like, you know, there's at least as much good in the world as there is evil, kind of like the yin yang symbol has been very prominent for me lately, and really helping me to understand this concept of the balance of good and evil in the world. And even this dragon, I feel like, was the fact that it was colored as black speckled with white. I feel like this dragon as well is trying to kind of help me feel protected for one thing, because dragons can also be very protective. And also they're very ancient and wise creatures. But yeah, just the coloring of it, I feel like, is symbolic. Now, there are a couple of channels as I was trying to learn about dragons, a couple of channels on YouTube, if any of you are interested. One of them is called Working Dragon Mystic. This guy is really interesting to listen to. And so it's called Working Dragon Mystic. That's his name. So he has other stuff too, just about magic, but a lot of stuff about dragons, which is kind of his primary thing. And he said that dragons are actually more ancient than both angels and demons. Dragons pre-exist angels and demons. So I don't know how long angels and demons have been around, but dragons apparently have existed for even longer than that. So they're extremely wise. They obviously understand the universe. They understand reality in a way that is beyond what we do. And let me see. And there's this young woman who also talks about dragons. I'm trying to find her channel too, just in case people are interested. It's called Azura Dragon Feather. Azura space DRAGON FAETHER. Azura Dragon Feather. So I feel like their content is very informative. So I'm kind of excited to learn more about dragons. I feel like I'm going through I've already been through a dark night of the soul at the end of 2018. That 2018 was like a crazy year for me in terms of spiritual awakening. But I feel like I'm kind of going through like a different kind of current of the dark night of the soul, or like, you know, just having a better understanding again of the whole balance of good and evil in the world and what all of that means, and just being able to come to a greater sense of peace about it so that it doesn't feel so overwhelming to me. So let me go back and look at some of your all's comments. It's easier to look at them on my phone. So I'll respond to your all's comments, and then I'll get into the readings. And I have at least one person here who has ordered a reading so far. If anyone else is interested in a little live reading, let me see. Okay. So Marina is getting more into animal totems. Animal totems, since I first started understanding that I was an intuitive person in like 2006, animal totems have been really interesting to work with for me. So I really hope that you enjoy your experience, Marina. I feel like our animal guides, I get animal guide messages all the time. So it never hurts when you have an interesting encounter with an animal, or even if you just see an image of an animal repeated in multiple places, you know, look that up and see what the meaning is. Miss M, I do feel pulled to dragons. I'm also a dragon in the Chinese zodiac. I think I'm a monkey myself, born in 1980. So that's interesting. Do you work specifically with dragons, Miss M, or do you just feel like you like their energy? I never felt any in particular pull to dragons before this, although I will say, again, in 2018, I had so many things going on. I did have a glimpse of a past life in ancient Egypt where I was a dragon. I felt like my twin flame and I were both dragons in this lifetime. I just got a little bit of a glimpse of it. I feel like he was like a purple dragon and I was an orange dragon. Maybe that may be the only lifetime we've ever come together. Who knows? It sure hasn't happened in this lifetime, but yeah, but I didn't, that was just a glimpse of a lifetime. And I sort of like dismissed it too, because I was just like, okay, because there was just so much other stuff going on. But I do think I may have had a previous lifetime as a dragon. And it felt like it was in ancient Egypt, or at least somehow connected to that. Now, Sydney, this is a very interesting story. Sydney says, my fiance's grandma saw a dragon inside an underground cave in Mexico. Just his about, I'm not sure what you're trying to write there, and smelled like sulfur. So the dragon smelled like sulfur. That's interesting. I would love to hear more about that. Did the dragon seem like it was trying to scare her, or did the dragon have like a calming energy? LA says that her friend's grandbaby and her saw a little fairy that his granddaughter talks with. Oh, so you actually saw the fairy. That's cool. The Wayfair thing makes me sick. Yes, it makes me sick too. So, and the worst thing about it is that they just, I just don't think it's going to be honestly investigated as well. We can only assume, Lillian. I guess so, but the people who are doing these types of things, they want us to feel that way as well, because there's a lot. I mean, what I've seen was just what multiple people easily pulled together, and it wasn't just screenshots. There were people who were scrolling through the actual Wayfair website, finding some of this questionable stuff. So I don't know. I'm gonna have to disagree. I feel like there's more there to it personally. Yeah, so I think, I don't know what we can do about it other than pray. You know what I mean? Let's see. Hi, Mizuki. Yes, Lillian. That's the truth. There is a place for these people, and I do believe that somehow or other, these types of things do balance out. And, it's frustrating when you really want there to be actual justice, right? And people are suffering, people shouldn't have to be experiencing that. People like Epstein, Speak Three Names says, people like Epstein surely have no soul, an empty vessel. It's hard for me to accept that they also have a part of spirit or source. I don't know either. Maybe there may be some people who are purely evil, and maybe there are a few people who are purely good and don't have any kind of badness in them. Both would be rare, but so LA says that forest dragons enjoy gossiping with a fairy. According to this one guy, Mystic Dragon, what did I say his name was? The first channel that I mentioned, he says that there are different sizes of dragons. There are some that are small. So there could be some that are kind of the same size as smaller fairies. Smriti says, Gabby, this question may be out of context, but is it true that if you don't see the tarot designated for your sign, it is not your reading? I wouldn't say that. I mean, to me, I would judge it more on, first of all, you have to be in touch with your own intuition when you're choosing. Or I don't know if you're talking about pick a card readings or just getting a reading in general, but if it's a pick a card, you need to be in touch with your own intuition when you're choosing the reading. And that's something you can develop. Even I developed it since I first started watching pick a card readings. I've gotten pretty good now. In the beginning, I wasn't as good at always picking the reading that was definitely meant for me. And some videos will not have a reading that's meant for you. So you have to realize that as well. Don't just assume that every pick a card video will have a reading for you. There may not be a reading for you in every video. But I'll also say to know whether or not a reading is accurate for you, of course, a good reading will give you a confirmation where they'll be talking about things that you do know are true. And you can say, okay, I know that that's true. They're picking up on that. I know that that's true. They're picking up on that. And then in addition, the reading will give you some sort of further insight that perhaps you weren't as aware of. So, and you use your own intuition. Does this feel right? And then I always recommend look at the real life evidence. Whatever is being said by that reader, does that sound like your actual real life? There should be some sort of prominent confirmation for you to show that they are really picking up on what is actually true for you. So that's my advice. Whether or not your sign shows up in the reading, that is not an idea that I've ever encountered. And that certainly wouldn't stop me from believing that a reading is for me or not. That's just my take on it. That's just my opinion. Anna says, I'm not sure I believe in these beings. In fact, I don't, but angels maybe. That's fine. Like I said, I didn't used to, and I don't like pushing my beliefs. I'll share my beliefs like I am today and my experiences. And if someone else believes it, they do. If they don't, that's fine. My own beliefs are always evolving. So I don't really see the point of trying to force my beliefs on anybody else, because a couple years from now, I might not even believe it. And then I've tried to convince someone else to. Like, what's the point? But, I also appreciate the same sort of respect in turn. I don't want someone to push their beliefs on me. They can share their beliefs, but they don't need to push their beliefs on me, and vice versa. And, but yeah, I enjoy talking about my beliefs. So if someone's open to hearing me talk about it, like you guys are showing up here, you wouldn't be here if you weren't open to hearing me talk about these things, right? So I will share what, I've experienced and what I believe. Let's see. What about the animal totem panther? It appeared to me. So Lillian, I would just Google panther spirit animal and just see what a couple of different websites say. And then there might be something in particular that jumps out at you. That's what I do. Mizuki, wow, there were dragons in ancient Egypt. Cool. According to this, this one guy's YouTube channel that I mentioned earlier, if I go back to it, I'll come out of my comment section. But yeah, he's saying that dragons existed previous to angels and demons. And I'm assuming that angels and demons existed before humans. That just makes sense. But so yeah, they've been around for a long time. And in my opinion, well, we know that dragons are often utilized to protect certain places. They're utilized to protect wealth. We hear a lot of myths about dragons being used to protect hoards of wealth, but they're also used to protect sacred sites. A year or so ago, I went with a small group of women to Serpent Mound in Ohio, which if you ever have a chance to go there, I recommend it. Apparently, when Native Americans were still inhabiting the area, there was a big meteor that hit, and it caused the earth to kind of like bulk up and make this sort of hill. And then on top of the hill that the meteor created, the Native Americans who were living there at the time created their own serpent-shaped mound on top of it to sort of like mark that area and I guess further imbue it with sort of sacred energy, or just to honor the cosmic energy that had impacted the area when that happened. So as we were driving there, I guess I was sort of a dragon experience then. I had clear cognizant knowing of, oh, there's dragon energy here protecting this sacred site. And so I feel like, dragons are just they can be very protective of geographical areas for whatever reason. Utilized for both good. Dragons could be utilized by people who know how, could be utilized to protect places of secrecy where evil things are happening. And I do believe that that does happen. Let's see. Okay, so Sydney's talking about, she said it was her grandmother who saw a dragon in a cave. She was 8 years old. She and her brother's dog ran off their ranch. They went to chase the dog, and he was barking at this opening mouth of what looked like a cave. She said in Spanish that she smelled sulfur and scaly gray snout. She felt knew the dragon was stuck there for a very long time, but she also became very scared and ran away. Oh, well, that is really sad. I picture Khaleesi from Game of Thrones when I hear dragons. I've never watched Game of Thrones, and from what I do know about Game of Thrones, that is not the show for me. That would probably trigger me and really stress me out. I don't like violence. I don't like this kind of sality that I've heard about depicted in that show. So it's not one for me. So I don't know. I can't really speak to why that would remind you of dragons. Well, speak three names. I mean, like I said, I just saw my dragon in my third eye as well. I mean, that's a way of seeing it. That's, I don't know. To me, big of a deal whether you see it in a more clairvoyant way or if you see it like actually at the same time. Sydney says that very empty areas in certain countries that have not been touched by man for a while will still hold these ancient beings. They could still be sleeping. Simply Kathy says, are hawks good spirit animals? I think so. To me, a hawk symbolizes, now someone was asking about panther before. I don't, off the top of my mind, know very thoroughly what panthers represent, but hawks represent being able to see from a higher perspective. So it could be that the hawk is trying to give you a greater insight into your life so that you can maybe see things from more of the perspective of your own higher self. So yeah, it's sort of like having an elevated perspective of life. That's how I see hawks as being. And so yes, I do enjoy hawk. When a hawk visits me, I feel like it's a good experience. Depending on how it presents yourself, it could also indicate that other people are observing you and the hawk wants you to be aware of it. I don't say that to make you paranoid, but just to let you know, the hawk could be telling you that someone is trying to observe you in some way, either psychically or, just looking at you online or whatever, but someone is paying attention to you. I think you just have to use your own intuition about how the hawk presents to you, like what in particular is it trying to say. Mizuki, I was obsessed with dragons and purple ones as a child. I don't know what that means. I mean, it could just mean that you have a particular connection to dragons and that dragons like working with you. If you're drawn to them, they're most likely also drawn to you. In terms of purple ones, the two channels that I mentioned before, I'll go find their names again, sorry. The one girl is called Azura Dragon Feather, Azura, and then Dragon Feather, but feather is spelled Faether. I think one of these, or maybe both of them, talk about different colors of dragons. So you might look at their channels and see if they have anything about that. And the other channel is called Mystic Dragon something. Hold on just a moment. Mystic Dragon, I don't know. Hold on one moment. But these are both really interesting channels. And I am particular, even though I have a YouTube channel and I talk about different concepts like this, different people learn things in different ways. I learn better through reading than I do through hearing someone speak. But even so, both of these channels to me are both very easy to absorb the information from by just listening to them talk. This guy is called Working Dragon Mystic. And that's a lot of his thumbnails look like that. I think this is showing up very clear, but Working Dragon Mystic, I think that they have one of these people, I think, has something about the different dragon colors and what they mean. Speak Through Names has had her dogs and cats who have passed over come to visit you. I feel my cat Edgar pretty often as well. He lets me know in different ways that he's around me. Yes, Working Dragon Mystic. Oh, I guess I could type in here. Hopefully this doesn't mess it up. Azura. Yay. Can y'all still hear me? Once I commented there and it made my microphone stop working. Technology does not like me. Okay, so I have two people who are wanting readings. Let me go back and find your name. So I think it started with an A. This was Allie. Okay, Allie, are you still here? Allie. Allie was wanting a reading, so we'll get her reading. I'm going to fill up my bottle. I still have some clary sage in there, but I'm just going to refill it with some water and spray. A little refresher. Hey, Allie, what did you want to ask about? What am I doing? And then if anyone else has anything they want to say about magic books, not just the ones that I mentioned. I mean, there are, so many different types. Is there a future between you and A? A plus A. Okay. Let's see what's going on with you and your person A. I'm just going to use the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. That's okay, Sydney. Go for it. I want to hear. The horn is a third eye. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. It's sort of like it projects maybe their third eye or like concentrates that energy. Makes total sense. LA, go for it. Talk about aliens. I love to hear about aliens. All right. Is there a future with Allie? Okay. So this is the initial answer, Allie, and then we're going to look more into it. I have the Ace of Cups, the Fool reversed, and the Eight of Pentacles reversed. Now, when I'm asking a yes or no question, I'll pull 3 cards, and depending on uprights or reversals, that's my yes or no. So right now, the energy is a no. But there is love here. There is definitely love here. With the Fool reversed and the Eight of Pentacles reversed, I feel like there's some element that someone is not willing to take a risk here. And then it could be that someone is not necessarily willing to work on this as well, or not willing to put in the work and not willing to take the risk. But there definitely is love here. So I'm going to ask more about it. And I also want to remind you that the future is not set in stone. So when you get a tarot reading, do not let a tarot reading dictate your future. Your future is not set in stone, and you have a lot of power over how you want to create your future. So don't give away your power, all right? But the energy that I'm picking up on right now is showing me a no to your question, Allie. But let's ask more about it. How does A feel? We'll just look more into it. A's feelings for you are very intense. We have the moon, the tower, and the 8 of swords reversed. This person is overwhelmed with their emotions. This person's emotions are, it's like an electric eel type of an energy. Like they are zapping themselves with their own emotions. Their emotions are so heightened. Their emotions for you are so intense. And I feel like because their emotions are so overwhelming, it's like they can't see beyond that. I feel like they can't even think straight right now. And they are probably having anxiety because this is so intense. And I'm asking, like, why would A feel this way? Why would A's emotions be so intense? And I think it's because he or she, I don't know, this person thinks that you're just calm as a cucumber. And I think that worries this person because it's this is someone who doesn't necessarily like to be so in their emotions. And when their emotions strike in this kind of intense way, it's just extra overwhelming to them because they're more of a practical person, right? And I also feel like they feel like they need to be something more than what they currently are. Because I feel like right now they see themselves as the Page of Pentacles, so they don't feel like they've really accomplished as much in life as what they want. They also just don't really feel like they're confident enough or attractive enough or just worldly enough or, like they just don't think that they're enough. And their emotions are really overwhelming and scaring them, which is probably why they're not willing to take a risk because they're just so scared by all of this and they don't think that they're good enough anyway. What does she most need to know? What is most helpful for her to know about the situation with A? I mean, but first of all, this is like a star-crossed sort of a situation. Like there is definitely a very spiritual aspect to this connection. Your souls are very much aligned with each other. There's a reason that this person came into your life and vice versa. A loves you very much, Ellie. And I think that sometimes he or she may come across as a little bit like they have their defenses up, or they come across maybe as it's hard to read them, I think, because they do try to suppress their emotions. They do try to present themselves in such a way that other people won't see their emotional depths. But this person does care about you very much. What's a better way of saying this? Yeah. I think as well, this is someone who doesn't like to say how they feel. They don't like to put it in words. In terms of their love language, it's probably more like physical affection. Like if they felt safe to do so, they would want to like put their arm around you. But they do want something with you. Let's just ask, is there anything she can do to shift this energy? We get the 2 of Cups reversed. Is there anything she can do to shift this energy? I feel like they're saying, it's maybe just recognize there is love here and the love is mutual. But it also might just be, I know this is trite and we hear this all the time, but it might just be a little bit better to focus on you right now rather than to focus on this relationship, because it doesn't feel like there's going to be much happening. And if you keep yourself focused on wanting something to happen. It's probably going to be very frustrating to you, and you're going to be wasting a lot of energy on something that just, it's just not coming together the way that you want it to. So there are other things that you could focus on, just for yourself, for your own happiness, you know. Focus on improving your life, making your life more the way that you want it to be. And I feel like this will give you inner peace. And in a way, you emotionally pulling back and even mentally, energetically pulling back from A will give them also a calmer energy, which could improve the energy, because right now, like I said, I mean, with the moon and the tower card, this person is overwhelmed. And so even on an energetic level, if your own energy is calmer and less attached to the situation, it might improve the overall energy for both of you, which could maybe make it more likely for them to have greater confidence and courage, to act here. So, okay. Well, Allie, I hope that helped. Now, Rachel, you had a question earlier. Which one do you want me to do first? You're asking, first you asked about, is it a good idea to go to your beach trip? And also you're asking, is G still in love with me? Do you care which of those that I look at first? If not, I'll just assume the first one you asked is the one that you want. Are you still here, Rachel? I'm going to have to come back to people's comments because you all are saying some interesting things. Rachel, comment so that I know you're still here. I want to make sure you hear your reading. Okay, so Cindy says the first story was about her fiance's grandma, and she has another story about her own great-grandmother from Puerto Rico. She said that back in Puerto Rico, when she was a little girl, there was a display in her town. The display was of a caught mermaid by the fishers in her town. She said people from all over came to see her. My great-grandma said it was an awful sight, that the mermaid was very ugly, very scarlet, looked like she was losing life. She had a horn-looking mouth like a seahorse. She did have a tail like a mermaid, but she didn't know how. She didn't look the way that people imagine mermaids. She said that it was one of the saddest sights she's ever seen. She was held against her will. Wow. Yeah, I do think that throughout history, people have been able to capture magical creatures. And in fact, I kind of think, this is just a kind of a theory, I guess, that the reason that we don't see unicorns, and obviously we used to because, as I said, they're mentioned 9 times in the Bible. Not that everything in the Bible makes sense, but I don't know, there's something to that. 9 times they're mentioned in the Bible, but we don't see unicorns now. They are also depicted on like older tapestries. I think there's some well-known medieval tapestries that depict unicorns. But I kind of have a feeling that unicorns in particular are one of the types of magical creatures. I mean, even in these tapestries, it's about the unicorn hunt. You can Google it, tapestry unicorn hunt, and you'll find these images where these hunters have gone out to capture a unicorn. I think that there are people, elite people with power and influence, who are very interested in, or have historically been very interested in, unicorns, because they can use those unicorns' energy to perform higher level magic. So I do think that unicorns have also been held captive. I think, though, that a lot of unicorns are reincarnating as other beings, either as humans or animals or whatnot, because right now in this ascension process, we need that type of energy. Unicorns are very powerful beings. So even if, even if someone was a unicorn in a previous lifetime, they'll still carry, obviously, the energy of that powerfulness in their soul. Yeah, but I think unicorns have purposefully chosen to die so that they can't be held captive. These are kind of theories. I don't know. Are they true? Are they not? Who knows? We do know on the flags of England and Scotland, a unicorn is utilized as a symbol of Scotland, and the unicorn is in chains. We also know that Scotland is a very magical place, that, there are lots of magical creatures. I mean, everywhere there are these magical creatures, but Scotland in particular. I don't know if any of you are from Scotland or know much about Scotland, but it just seems like there's like an extra level of kind of like magical beings there. And I don't know, to me, the fact that the unicorn is symbolized being in chains, I mean, it could represent different things. It could represent something on a level of government, a level of imperialism, but also something regarding magic. I don't know. I'm just putting it out there as a possibility. Is Rachel here? I don't know where you are, Rachel, but whenever you're here, I'm ready to do your reading. I just don't want to start the reading if you're not here to hear it. Hi, Starry Night. Mermaids are from Venus. That's interesting. Okay. Hey, Rachel, do you want me to ask about the beach first? You had a question about going to the beach? Oh, Sydney says she's seen those tapestries and your son did a whole project about unicorns. He said he thinks that they are real because a lot of cultures have similar knowledge about them. Yeah, I agree. Like if multiple cultures, especially if they're like geographically very far apart, if they have the same concept, then to me, that's like sort of a confirmation of like, this is real. How else would they know that? Okay. All right. So Rachel's question was about the beach. Is it a good idea to go to the beach this weekend? So what do your guides have to tell you? Is it a good idea for her to go to the beach this weekend? Okay. So I pulled for my yes or no, and it is a no because I have just one card upright, and that's the 5 of Wands, which isn't a great energy. And we have Queen of Cups reversed and 4 of Wands reversed. So I just kind of feel like if you went to the beach this weekend, it might be more frustrating than what you had predicted or what you had, I don't know if predicted is the right word, but it might be more frustrating than what you're envisioning it or wanting it to be. 4 of Wands reversed and Queen of Cups. I just feel like your emotions are not going to be in a very good place. And it's just not going to be the happy event that you would want it to be. I also just pulled one card for if you go and one card if you don't go. If you go, it's the Moon reversed, which is kind of similar to the Queen of Cups reversed. This means like emotionally, you are not going to be in a very good place. If you don't go, it just looks like it's not necessarily that you're going to be having a ton of fun this weekend, but if you don't go to the beach, it feels like maybe you're going to be getting a lot done. So maybe that's getting work done at home, or just maybe you have work, actual paid work to get done. But it's not like a rip roar and fun time per se, but it looks like you'll be productive at least, and your emotions are not going to be so stressful to you as if you did go to the beach. So that is that one. And then you also asked Rachel, let me find what the letter was of this person's name. I think it was G. You asked if someone still had feelings for you. My phone is not being nice to me right now. What are you doing? Okay, I don't know what's going on with my phone. You asked if someone still had feelings for you. I think that the letter was G, but I can't remember. If you could remind me, that would be great, Rachel, because I can't find it. I think my phone. Yes. Okay. So Rachel asked, "Is G still in love with me?" Reading your second reading. Excuse me, guys. Oops. Is G still in love with Rachel? So, Rachel, these are your cards. This is a yes. It is a resounding yes. You know, we have the King of Pentacles here. This G is very committed to you. This is an enduring, stable love. This is someone who has no interest in moving on. I do feel like there's a lot going on here because we have the Tower card and the Hanged Man. So I feel like he is really kind of stressed out. I feel like he feels a little bit stuck. I feel like for one thing, if you were thinking about going to the beach with him, I don't think he wants to go. So, and he might just be in general right now, not very interested in doing quote unquote fun things. I feel like he's just not feeling very adventurous right now. Yeah, I just feel like he feels sort of stuck, and it's like he kind of, in a way, he's almost comfortable with being stuck at the moment. I feel that he might just be more comfortable focusing on work right now rather than like having fun or doing anything adventurous. He definitely wants to work on your connection though, you know, like I do feel like he wants to make this connection better. He wants to make things better. There's a very strong energy here of commitment for me that I get. But I feel like sometimes he doesn't know how to show that to you. He is very committed, but he doesn't always necessarily show that to you, I feel. Any final thoughts? I think his sexual interest maybe is more active than it has been. But again, I just feel like he's not very demonstrative. Like maybe it's hard for him to sort of show what he's feeling, or maybe more interested in physical contact lately. So that's what I'm getting, Rachel. I don't know where you went, but I hope that you heard that. If not, I guess you can hear it in the playback. All right, so the next question is Allie again, and Allie's asking, is someone new coming toward me in love? Let's see. Is someone new coming towards Allie in love? I'll point this down maybe so you can see me shuffling better. Look at my cutie. She's back here sleeping. So adorable. Is there someone new coming for Allie? Well, Allie, you're You're probably not getting the answers that you want from this. I'm getting a no. I feel like just energetically, it's not maybe the right time for you. But your guides don't want you to worry about it. Your guides are saying, don't think that it's because you're doing anything wrong. It's just the energy isn't right now for someone new to come in. You know, I feel like the person that we mentioned before, there is a strong emotional connection to this person. And I kind of feel like that might be in a certain way energetically why there's not room for something new to come in, is because maybe there's just more to this to kind of figure out first. Like I mean, when we asked about that earlier, it doesn't look like there's a potential for hints there, but it's almost like I feel like your energy is just kind of planted with this other person right now. Like we said before, you know, your guides don't want you to just wait around and like hope and put all your energy into hoping something will happen with them. But your feelings for this person are just very enduring. And I honestly just don't feel like you're ready for someone new. So will someone come along? I mean, it could be that there's someone who comes along that you have a little bit of an interest in, or vice versa. But I don't feel like anytime soon there's going to be something that actually happens. How long will it be? How long do you think it will be before something happens for her? Well, I do feel like maybe by Sagittarius season, sometime between now and Sagittarius season, there might be a good potential for a relationship to happen. But it's not something in like the near future. So what is it now? It's at the end of July. So August, October, November. So 4 to 5 months, maybe 4 to 6 months, we could say. There could be someone coming into your life in Sagittarius season. But in the meantime, like I said before, I get a soul. All right. So Mizuki is asking for just general career advice. All right, Mizuki, you just made a comment about my kitty cat, so I assume you're still here. All right, career advice. The first thing that they're saying is do not put so much pressure on yourself. We have the 10 of Wands reversed and the 10 of Cups upright. I feel like your spirit guides are telling you that you need to have better work-life balance. So you might be either mentally or emotionally taking your work home with you and not really being able to enjoy your home life, your personal life, your time with friends and family the way that you otherwise would. So this is the first advice, is just to have a better work-life balance. You know, maybe you've been overworking yourself, or you're just too mentally and emotionally preoccupied with work. And that needs to be balanced out with you just having fun and just enjoying your emotional connections to the people that you love. Okay, so that's advice number 1. They're saying there's a particular milestone that you have yet to achieve, that you really want to achieve. And part of the reason you want to achieve this particular milestone, some sort of goal or milestone, to me, the 4 of Wands indicates milestone. I hope you understand what I mean. Like, you want to reach a certain target in your career. Maybe it's an amount of money or some sort of level of success. Something that to you would be reaching a milestone that would make you feel like you'd accomplished something. Right now, you haven't reached this particular milestone yet because this is reversed. But I also feel like your guides are saying part of the reason, if you're honest with yourself, part of the reason why you're wanting to reach this milestone, it's a little bit of an ego thing, which is fine. We all have an ego. The ego doesn't make us a bad person. It just is what makes us human. We all have ego. But there's a part of you that wants to accomplish this milestone because maybe it will show other people your worth. You're like, well, if I can accomplish this, then everybody will look at me and think, wow, she did that. You know, it's sort of like showing people up. You know, like success is the best revenge type of an energy. So I feel like your guides are saying, Page of Wands reversed, that as long as this is the reason, if this is your reason at any level for wanting to achieve this goal, that in and of itself is going to be the obstacle. You need to focus on what really motivates you. Like, what is your passion? Don't worry about what other people think or what's going to make other people think that you're successful. You will be the most successful when you are following your own passion, when you are following the momentum of what internally drives you and makes you feel good about what you're doing. That's what success is. Success has nothing to do with, well, I did better than so-and-so, or I showed so-and-so I could do this and they never believed in me, but now they know. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what those people think. And I also feel like you're skeptical about this idea of allowing your passions to lead the way, because you're skeptical that that will help you succeed. Because maybe in the past you've like, well, I've focused on what made me feel passionate in the past and it didn't get me to where I wanted to go. But again, your guides are just saying your idea of accomplishing success in your career is sort of like focused on the wrong idea of what abundance really is. And that is really just your major blockage. You know, it's just this repeating thing that, you know, you're looking at markers of success being something outside of your level of happiness and contentment. If you're happy and content, you have succeeded, no matter what the number in your bank account is, no matter how many clients you have, or whatever your particular markers of success are. If you're happy, if you're enjoying your life, you've succeeded. That's it. That's the whole thing. That's all that life is about. And I do feel like there are a lot of blessings, though. I do feel like you're going to be this and understanding this more, because it's one thing to understand something intellectually, like, oh, instead of keeping up with the Joneses, I need to just make myself happy and allow myself to enjoy life more. I feel like this will really be sinking in a lot more for you. Hi, Rachel. Well, if you missed it, you can play back the video. Sometimes it takes it a few hours after the live stream is over for it to, I don't know what it does technology-wise, but it takes it sometimes a while for it to actually post back up on my website. But you can always go back and rewatch the video if you missed some of that, Rachel. I'm so sorry. Yeah, but I do feel like you'll be very successful. You will be successful. You will be successful, and you'll be in the achievement sort of a way. You will be successful. So in the way that you want to be successful, you will be, but it's just adjusting your way of approaching that, and not allowing yourself to get upset about things. Because again, when you're not enjoying life, you're not succeeding. I don't know. I hope that makes sense. Yeah. And just in general, your guides are saying, you know, to try to work on letting go of your fears as well, Mizuki. You know, which is, it's an ongoing process for all of us. To letting go of fears. I mean, that's just part of our shadow work, because we all have fears. Let's see. Okay, so Jaded Kate. Jaded, are you still here? I've got your question about will T reach out to me and communicate first and offer apologies? I just want to make sure you're here before I start reading. Yeah, and Mizuki, that's just normal. We all have doubts and fears, so you're no different from anyone else. For me, what's helpful is just to be aware of it. Just say, oh, I acknowledge I'm having a fearful thought, and I'm going to let that go because I know that that doesn't help me. That's not helping me. So I'm just going to let that thought go now that I've acknowledged it. I don't judge myself for having a fearful thought, but I am aware that I have one, and I'll just let that go. What works for some people too is to set aside a particular time in the day as a worry time, and only during that 15 or 20 minutes are you allowed to worry about anything. If you start to worry at any other time in the day, you're like, nope, this is not my designated worry time. My worry time is at 5:30 p.m. From 5:30 to 5:45, that's when I'm allowed to worry. We're not in that time period, so I'm not going to worry right now. So that works for some people as well, just putting that out there. Okay, Jaded Kate is here. Okay, so let's ask your question, and then I'll get to your next one, Rachel. All right, so Jaded Kate, will T reach out to me and communicate first and offer apologies? So we'll just ask first, are they going to reach out and communicate first? Is T going to reach out and communicate first? Yes, I do think so. So we have the Ace of Cups, the King of Wands, and the Queen of Cups reverse. For one thing, T knows that you're upset. T knows that you love them, but also with them right now. So there is an awareness there. T does love you. We have the Ace of Cups, but also to me, T is represented by the King of Wands here. So we'll clarify more, but I feel like, this isn't someone who, I feel like there's more pride here that is going to make it hard for T to necessarily issue an apology, but it is paired with the Ace of Cups. So I feel like there is a possibility of, at some level, sort of offering an amends. Yeah, actually, yes. I do think that T will apologize. Absolutely. I think that despite the fact that T is someone who's very proud and it's hard for them to admit their faults, I think actually they will let their defenses down. They will admit that they're not perfect and that they did something wrong because they don't want you to be upset at them anymore. And this person very much cares about you. Anything else that Jaded Kate should understand? Man, the Four of Wands reverse is coming up in everybody's reading. I do feel like in general, though, with this connection with T, I do feel like there's something here where even though I do feel like there will be an apology, I think that there's something that's out of balance here between the two of you that is keeping you from kind of getting to the next level. We have Page of Cups reversed. I feel like, this is like a new emotional experience. This connection is giving T emotions that they're not used to having, and they're not comfortable with these emotions, and there's something that has to be more balanced out before this can really get momentum to go to the next level. I do feel like it will eventually happen, but I just feel like your guides are just letting you know that there may be a little bit of a stall before things really start to pick up momentum with the two of you, because T needs to get more comfortable with their emotions. And I do feel like that emotional balance will come about in time. I just feel like maybe 7 to 9 months is how long it's going to take for there to be more momentum, more of the momentum that you want to see. because this is just, this is a new emotional experience in a good way. I mean, these are emotions that make T happy, but it's also like they're not used to dealing with this type of emotion. And I feel like, again, it just makes them feel kind of, they don't like feeling so attached to someone. They've never felt this attached to someone the way that they do to you. And I think it's sort of an uncomfortable feeling to them. They don't like the anxiety that it induces in them because they don't like having to worry. Does she like me back? You know, I feel like they do worry about that, and they don't like that. They're not used to it. I think this is someone who's used to being admired by other people. They're not necessarily used to being the one who's admiring someone else and gaga about somebody else, which is because they're kind of focused a little bit more on their own. Of Cups reversed, and that you can emotionally withhold from them, and they're like, oh, I didn't know that someone could do that to me. I thought I was the only one that could be emotionally withholding. But they don't, I feel like they don't understand that you have your own anxieties or insecurities. I think they might know it at a certain level, but they don't realize the degree to which that is true because they're kind of focused on their own insecurities and fears here. Whoops. But they're happy that they have this connection to you. They absolutely are. So I hope that makes sense. Oh, thank you, Ross. Okay, I'm doing Rachel's right now. And Ensenez said to do a reading. Did you send a payment, Ensenez? Okay, Rachel's asking, will there be good news on the G immigration front soon? Yes, I think it will come in sort of unexpectedly. These are all major arcana as well, Rachel. But we have the Tower upright, the World upright, and then the Full reversed. So yes, I think that exactly what you want to happen will happen. It'll probably happen more quickly than actually you expect, or it'll happen very suddenly or something with the Tower card. And then we have the Full reversed. Yeah, it's almost like it happens quicker than you're even ready for, I think. So yes, absolutely. The World is like the best possible outcome. And the Tower, of course, indicates it could happen very suddenly or unexpectedly. So yeah, as a yes for that. Okay. Jaded Kate says that's a lot to digest. Well, I hope that you mean that in a good way. I hope that it was helpful. Either way, I appreciate you ordering a reading. Okay, Ross wants to know, is it a good idea for me to move to Spain with my mother and children? All right. Is it a good idea to move to Spain with my mother and children? Okay. Connecting to Ross's guides. I don't know if y'all can see me shuffling, so is it a good idea for Ross? It looks like it, yeah. I mean, we have the Strength and the Queen of Swords upright. We have the Five of Pentacles reversed. I think for one thing, I feel like your mother is a very strong woman. I feel like she, I hate that phrase, strong woman, because I feel like all women are strong because we have to be, because misogyny and the effing patriarchy, we have to be strong to put up with that BS. But you know what I mean? Like, I do feel like she is a very strong woman. She is, I feel like she kind of is the kind of person who does what she wants to do with life, no matter what other people think. She's just very individualistic and very strong in her sense of self. So that's what I get just about her. But yes, it looks like it will be positive. I feel like with the Five of Pentacles reversed, it's not going to be as financially or otherwise difficult as maybe what you would expect it to be, if you choose to do this, it will happen more easily. It won't be as much of a struggle as what you might be expecting it to be. So that's positive. What else about, yeah, and I also feel like in terms of like work, career, money, it's going to be moving there will give you opportunities that are going to be very positive and enjoyable. It won't be as difficult emotionally as you think it will be as well. I think there might be a part of you that's like feeling like it emotionally, it'll be hard to move because maybe there will be people that you'll miss or something like that. But with the Eight of Cups reversed, I don't think it will be as difficult. And we have 3 8 cards here, the Strength card and these 2 8 cards. So 888, I actually just recently posted something on my community page, Ross, about the number 888, which is about really big financial blessings coming in. So I just feel like this will be much more financially easy for you than what you think. And you'll have financial opportunities that present themselves there. So actually, yes, it's very positive in terms of what I see here. Very, very positive. Any final thoughts for Ross? Yeah, maybe there's a tie to someone that it makes it hard for you to move on. Like you feel like you would have trouble because maybe you would miss someone is the feeling that I get. But I feel like that even that will work out. Maybe that person will be able to eventually move there as well, or just something is going to work out in terms of, I feel like there's a person that you would miss, but I actually think that it will work out and you'll be able to stay in contact in a very harmonious way. I hope that makes sense, Ross. I think I've caught up with all of the readings. Let's see, make sure I didn't have any PayPal payments that I wasn't aware of. Nope, I think it was just the one that I got earlier. Okay. All right, so I think I'm caught up with all of the readings. I want to go back now and just look at Say is talking about the fact that mermaids are actually not that nice. Whoa. Oh, okay. I thought you sent me $200. Okay, so this is a different, I was like, whoa, that's generous. Okay, when will I get a nuclear family? Like when I'll live without in-laws? I'm a Taurus. So Sangeeta. Yes. Thank you, Miss M, for saying that. I appreciate it. I've gotten a lot of readings on this particular live stream. It's been a while since I had that. When will she get a nuclear family? When? Okay, well, we have the Three of Swords. The Three of Swords. Okay, Three of Swords and the Lover's card. What is this trying to tell me? Well, I mean, I do think that it will happen. I mean, in terms just of timing, the Three of Swords is pretty quick, but it's not a pleasant card to get. And this is very positive. I mean, this is what you're asking for. The Lovers and the Four of Wands, like this partnership where you live together in your own nuclear way. but there's something painful that maybe has to happen first in terms of the timing. There's something painful that will happen first, or that has to be dealt with first. In general, I feel like your guides just don't want you to worry so much about this and just to have faith that absolutely it will happen. But you're worried about something. You're worried that it won't work out. You're worried that it won't work out. And it's almost like you feel the grief of it. It's like you're feeling the grief of this will never work out, or I'll never have this. But you will. I feel like maybe part of it is convincing your partner that this is a good idea. It might cause some sort of level of conflict with your partner, the idea of moving on without in-laws. So it might be a little bit of a struggle, but it will eventually happen. I think it's sort of, I don't know if will it happen this month or September? Let me see. Will it happen? Will it happen in August? I get a no for August. Happen in September. Yeah, I think it will happen in September. So I feel like it will happen quickly, but I feel like there is like some argument or something with your partner. It feels like to me like you have to, I don't know, like maybe you'll have to be more firm in making your demands about this. Maybe you've been afraid to kind of give an ultimatum or something with the Strength and the Empress reversed, like you're afraid of exerting your power. But yeah, it will definitely happen. I just feel like, yeah, you're going to have to, it's maybe going to cause some hurt feelings. But what are your final thoughts? What does she need to know about all of that, the hurt feelings? I mean, ultimately, your partner wants to make you happy, financial aspects of it, and that might be part of what's holding them back. But it's, they do want to make this happen because they want you to be happy. I think they don't tell you all of what they're thinking and feeling about it. So sometimes maybe you have the impression that they don't want this, and that might be true at a certain level, but mostly it's that they're sort of concerned about the whole transition. They're concerned financially, I think, about what's the possibilities there. But yeah, I mean, we got a yes for September, so it will happen pretty quickly, but not necessarily without anyone's feelings getting hurt. I guess that's kind of life. People's feelings get hurt sometimes. Change is hard. I feel like changes are hard, especially when it involves other people. So I really hope that helps. Thank you so much for the donation. Always Sunny says, I'd love some guidance. Will F reach out to try to mend things and apologize? What's best to do? Thank you so much. You're the second person who's asked that. Well, about your person, but you know what I mean. I think Coco is bringing us some wonderful energy today with her cuteness. If you're just showing up, my kitty is right over here. She's taking a nap. It's one of her favorite activities. We are so similar, my cat and I. We love to sleep and we love to eat. Our favorite hobbies. We have so much in common. Okay, so Always Sunny. Will F reach out and try to mend things? Okay, and apologize. Will F reach out? Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, F is in it to win it. This person is like, they want something serious with you. So yes, they will reach out. Because they want to build something concrete with you. I mean, these are all like serious, committed cards. So yeah, I mean, this person wants something very serious. And maybe you're already in a relationship. I don't know, but they want this to last regardless. Yeah, they want something durable. This is someone who also they're willing to meet their responsibilities. So this is very positive. Absolutely. Ace of Wands. Absolutely. They will reach out. You'll be very satisfied with what they say because it will be obvious this person wants to make progress here. This person wants things to move forward with you. So far, maybe you haven't been able to get it to move forward quite the way that you want. Both of you want that though. And yeah, absolutely. They're going to do whatever it takes, I feel like. So what's the best to do was the second part of her question. What's the best to do? You know, the best thing to do is just to realize that just because it hasn't worked out exactly how you wanted it to yet, doesn't mean that it won't. You know, you haven't had quite the progress that you wanted to have yet with the Chariot reversed. Remember, we just got the Chariot upright in terms of this person apologizing to you. So they will make it happen. So don't think that just because it hasn't happened the way that I wanted it to yet, don't allow yourself to think that that means it will never, because there is very, very positive energy here. I feel like you've been hurt by this connection. Absolutely, you've been hurt by it. You've been hurt by the fact that it hasn't gone the way that you wanted to, or maybe this person hasn't proceeded how you wanted them to. But you will ultimately be very satisfied by this connection. This person will demonstrate to you that they are serious. They're serious about you. They're serious about making it work. And they will reach out to you, absolutely, and they will make amends. Let's see. So, Sydney, I just read your story about a little creature. It sounds like you didn't even know yourself maybe what the creature was, though. A man who wishes to engage with me soon. My last meeting was advising me. Yeah, it's cooling me down as much as anything. It's warm in here today. Okay. Will there be a new love who wishes to engage with you soon? So Ross, I mean, the answer is yes, but it's like we have the 10 of Cups, the Devil card, and the 5 of Wands. So, I mean, there will be like a strong physical attraction between the two of you with the Devil card. This will be someone with a good heart because we have the 10 of Cups. But will they be completely devoid of toxic energy? I don't think so. I feel like this is someone who's going to kind of have a balance between positive energy and toxic energy. But yeah, absolutely, there will be someone coming in. And I think, you know, that there's going to be happiness with this person. It's going to feel really good emotionally. You know, there's definitely going to be a very strong physical attraction, but I think you're going to feel a little bit conflicted because you do pick up on some level of toxic energy. And with this person, the toxic energy might even be just sort of that they're they isolate themselves, or could be a little bit even of depression with this person. So it's not like a malignant type of energy. It's more like, I feel like you might feel conflicted because you're like, I think this person might be a little bit depressed, or they're they're very withdrawn, and I'm not sure what to make of that. Yeah, this is a very strongly introverted person, and maybe there's something about that worries you, or you feel like maybe we're not compatible. But I do think that actually you're more compatible than what you feel like. Because even with the Five of Wands, this is kind of like small frustrations. But it's sort of, sometimes when I see this card, it gives me the energy of making mountains out of molehills. Like, so you have some sort of like small, there are some small issues where you're like, I don't know if this would work. But they are small. That's the thing. You know, nothing's perfect. No connection is perfect. But yes, you will meet someone that you're very attracted to. Absolutely. So I would say, like, give it some time, because I feel like there's a good energy here with this person. But the devil card keeps wanting to come up, like, and all, you know, the sexual energy is going to be very enticing and enjoyable. So just enjoy that, you know, like, are there some personality differences or something, or, you know, concerns about the fact that this person is so introverted or such a homebody or something? Yeah, but that doesn't mean that it won't work. You know, it just might make it a little bit harder to make it work. But, you know, enjoy it and, you know, see what comes from it. All right. So thank you, Ross. I hope that helped you out. So we have another question from Mizuki. What do I need to work on in general right now? I need some love advice from my guides. Oh, Sangeetha, I do live streams every Thursday, unless I'm having some sort of technical issue or something. Last week, I was having technical issues. But otherwise, I've started doing them every Thursday at 3:33 p.m. Eastern. So usually for about an hour and a half, because I'm getting a lot of people requesting readings. But usually it's, I talk about some sort of metaphysical topic, or something about, you know, self-care or self-improvement, self-love, something like that. And then after that little talk, usually for the first, like, maybe half hour, I'll just be talking. And then after that, it's open for readings. So, all right. So just to answer that question real quick. Okay, Mizuki wants to know what to work on in general right now. What does she most need to work on? You need to work on work. Work is a priority. Now, are you the same person earlier? They said you needed a work-life balance. Oh, okay, here we go. All right. Yeah, I mean, was this you, or was this someone else who got this message? I feel like you, your guides want you to be doing work because you enjoy it, because you enjoy becoming better at what you do. You're passionate about what you do. They don't want you to be kind of, they don't want you to be a workaholic. They don't want you to be so focused on money. The goal shouldn't be about money. The goal should be that you enjoy what you're doing, and that you're trying to build your skills and become better at what you're doing. Yeah, I feel like work on improving your level of happiness. I feel like your guides kind of already said this to you. I think for you, what I want to do is see if there's a good deck around here. I think Mizuki, so that was you before. Okay, yeah, they're definitely repeating that message from before. So you must really need that message. But let me see what else. I'm going to use this Goddess Oracle deck. All right, so we get Butterfly Maiden in reverse, Kuan Yin. and Aphrodite in reverse. So I feel like, you know, you're doing a great job at being, you're very compassionate. You're so nice and gentle. I feel like you have a very gentle energy towards other people. You would never purposefully try to hurt anyone's feelings. Your energy is very peaceful and sweet. You're a very sweet, gentle person. And your guides, first of all, they want to just tell you, oh my gosh. That's why I have so many decks around me, Mizuki, and this was the deck that I was drawn to. She wants you to know that she's around you then. I feel like that's a confirmation. Yes. Oh my God, yes, this is such a wonderful energy. So I feel like not only is she your guide, but you also have a lot of the same qualities that she possesses of just sweetness, gentleness, compassion. But we also had these other two cards reversed. We had Butterfly Maiden, which is transformation, and it was in reverse. And then we have Aphrodite. It says inner goddess, awaken through dance, self-care, and appreciating your divinity. These were both reversed. I feel like you just need to kind of enjoy life more. You're such a sweet, kind person, and obviously a very hardworking person. But you need to take some of that energy instead of working so hard, or maybe you just work so hard to make other people happy. Your guides want you to enter through this door of transformation where you focus on you. You focus on making you happy, okay? You know, I recently did a blog entry at my website about how self-love is one of the greatest acts of service, because it's like when we fill our own cup first, you know, if you imagine like a chalice in your heart, like on the Ace of Cups tarot card, if you fill that up by taking care of yourself and being kind to yourself, that cup naturally will overflow and bless other people. So it is an act of service, because the more you love and care for yourself, you'll just naturally be a more blessing person to be around. People will I feel like people already enjoy being around you because you're so sweet and gentle. But you also need to be enjoying life. You know, you need to enjoy life and be getting more out of life. Like do dance, self-care, appreciate your divinity. Like what is fun to you? Do you know how to have fun? I suck at having fun. I have Moon and Mars and Capricorn. I don't know how to have fun either. It's a foreign concept to me, having fun. So maybe spend time with people who do know how to have fun, you know? Like when I'm spending time with my 11-year-old niece, if any of you are interested in the Myers-Briggs personality type, she's an ENFP. She's so fun. She's like a delightful little unicorn. And she allows me to get in touch with my own inner child. My cat Coco helps me to have more fun sometimes. So yeah, Capricorns. Yeah, people with Capricorn energy, like we're just so responsible. And that's a great quality. But it just makes it a little bit harder for us to just let loose and enjoy life, you know? Like even for me, just sitting down and watching a funny movie, I'm like, why would I do that? You know, just do little things every day. Try to do something that's just fun. That's the only purpose. There's no other purpose. It's not about any type of responsibility or productivity. It's like, I'm just doing this just because it's fun. You know, if you dance because you enjoy dancing, not because you feel like you need to burn calories. You know what I mean? Whatever it is that you're doing, try to just do it simply for the sake of this is fun and I deserve to have fun. So, but I just want to say I relate. I totally relate. Capricorn rising, Miss M. Yes. Anyone with heavy, if you have significant Capricorn placements, yes. Unless you have something else to balance that out. Like if you have a lot of Leo to balance it out, you might be a little bit more well-rounded, but Leo or something else that's more, capable of just having fun. But yeah, Capricorn is, it's just a very dutiful, responsible energy that goes along with that particular sign. Even if you have a lot of placements in your 10th house, you could also have that difficulty of not really knowing just how to have fun. Whew, I'm going to have to close out the readings now. No more reading requests. I'll finish up the ones. I don't know if it's let me type or not, but I've got to get off of here. I've got some other stuff to do. Actually, I am going to be doing something fun today. But, okay, so Mizuki, was there someone else? Okay, Arpita, are you still here? Because I'm going to do your reading, but I want to make sure you're able to hear it. Arpita? And then Ross. I'll do Arpita and then Ross. All right. Arpita was asking, will I get a proposal and call from him soon? Okay. I have some very loud children who live in the apartment underneath me, and they do not help me to get in touch with my inner child because, oh my God, when they're running around and screeching, it makes me so stressed out. I feel bad because I'm like, they're having fun, and that's what they should be doing, but I'm like, oh God, it's children. All right, Arpita's guides, will she get a proposal and call from him soon? Well, I'm getting a no for that, Arpita. I do feel like there's happiness between the two of you because we have the 10 of Cups. But I almost feel like with 2 of Pentacles reversed and the Devil reversed, I feel like maybe it's sort of like it's almost like he's unsure of how to show his attraction to you. Like he's not sure what's appropriate to do or something, or I don't know. If you all have not been physically intimate, I feel like he's a little bit scared of that, to be honest. And if you have, it's almost like maybe he feels guilty or something about having sex. Like there's some fear or something about having sex or some sort of guilt or something. I do feel like there's more to the story, though. I don't think it's going to end just because, he's maybe not reaching out. I feel like this will continue, but I just feel like there's, it's a difficult connection where I feel like he is just maybe more of a passive type of a personality. So I feel like he's not comfortable even like expressing his own masculine energy. Like he's not a dominant male for sure. He's more like a passive type of man is what I'm picking up on. And it's almost like he could be even a little bit intimidated by your energy. Yeah, it's like he feels like you have to lead the way. Like it's almost like he expects you or needs you to lead the way because he doesn't know how to do it. He doesn't know how to be the leader of this connection. I feel like also he's not really sure what you want. He's like, is she moving away from me? Does she want this to work out? I feel like he's sort of confused even about what's going on here. I feel like he notices other people getting married and he wants that, but he's very confused. He doesn't really know what's happening with the two of you. So what does she most need to know here? I feel like, he's not going to stop having feelings for you anytime soon. I feel like he's just kind of waiting for something to happen, though. Instead of like taking power into his own hands to make something happen. I definitely feel like this is the type of man who kind of wants the woman, whether he would admit it to himself or not. Like, it's just easier for him if the woman is sort of like taking the reins. And maybe I think you're capable of doing that, but maybe you're not because you want him to do that. But I just feel like it's not really his personality to take the reins or be more dominant or decisive in that way. Well, thank you so much, Mizuki. I hope you have a good rest. Good night. I also just get the feeling from him that he really cares a lot about kind of traditional values or something. In terms of an actual proposal, when you said proposal, I don't know if you meant marriage proposal, but like, I also feel like he's the kind of person who would feel like he needs to like ask your father or just ask permission or something, or just in general, he cares a lot about traditional ways of doing things. But I feel like the whole situation is very intimidating for him. Yeah. So what is the advice? What's the advice for Arpita? Well, I mean, the advice is that the two of you balance each other out very much. So if he is more passive, you may just have to be more dominant because that's just how the two of you balance out. It is a very strong, loving connection. There's really wonderful potential here. And I think that you might just have to be the one that takes the lead. Because I feel like he's not going to be that. Maybe you want him to be that, but you can't make someone be what they're not. And I feel like he just is not, he's not that type of guy. He is a very loving, sweet man, but he's not this kind of King of Wands type man. This is coming up in reverse. This is not who he is. And maybe you want him to be that, but he just isn't. So I hope that was really helpful. Thank you so much, Arpita. And then my last reading is for Ross, and then I'm going to get off of here. So I want to express gratitude for everyone for showing up here today, for sharing your stories. Some of your comments I haven't been able to see, so I might have to go back and read those later because I've just been doing the readings. But I love this. This is one of my favorite things now that I do on my channel are these live streams. So I'm glad that you all enjoy them as well. All right, Ross, I hope you're here. Ross is asking, is it possible for me to live by painting? I've had this idea since I was a little girl, or should I go to another job, and which one? Thanks for this live. Is it possible for her to live by painting? I mean, anything is possible, right? But we'll see what the cards say. You do get a yes here. So we have the 9 of Pentacles, we have the Page of Wands, and we have the 10 of Pentacles reversed. So yes, absolutely. It may not be, I mean, you have the 9 of Pentacles upright, which means yes, you can meet your needs. It is definitely possible for you to meet your financial needs, but it may not give you the wealth that you're hoping, because we have the 10 of Pentacles is reversed. But just in terms of could you live on it? Yeah. And the 9 of Pentacles is like living well. This is abundant living, the 9 of Pentacles. But will it give you enough money that you could set up like an extensive retirement savings account off of it? Probably not, with the 10 of Pentacles reversed. But yes, and a wonderful adventure for you to go on, to embark upon. So absolutely. What else? But I also feel like your guides, yes, you can make money off of it. But again, and we've, a lot of your all's guides seem for you to want to understand that, like, money shouldn't necessarily be the motivation. Money is like the cherry on top of an already beautiful experience. You're doing the painting because you enjoy it, because it's an expression of your soul. It's your way to express yourself, and it brings you so much enjoyment. If you focus too much on the money, or if it's like, well, I only want to do this if there's money, then your guides are just asking you, not to allow yourself to get caught up in that mindset, which is easy to do. Even if you start out doing something that it's like, I really love this. When you do start making money off of something, sometimes that can sort of switch your mentality, because the money becomes very enticing. And I think your guides are just saying, like, as you go on this journey, you will have financial success, but don't allow that financial success to get you out of the initial mindset of, why am I doing this? I'm doing it because I enjoy it. I'm doing it because my soul has this inherent need to express itself through the creation of art. I also just get a final message here for you, Ross, of just make sure you're sort of doing it for yourself. Again, this is emotionally, this is very beneficial to express yourself emotionally, but it also allows you to connect to other people emotionally. But I don't know if maybe there's a feeling for you of wanting to do it either to make someone else happy, or because you have a sense of responsibility to someone else. So again, it's just really about keeping in that mindset of, like, why am I creating art? Why is this important to me? And it isn't really about, if you let it become about money, or about making other people satisfied with you, then you're going to lose touch with your own creative vision, for one thing. But also it's kind of that love for what you're doing. I feel like your guides just don't want you to lose that love for what you do. And I will just have a moment of vulnerability and admit to you all that I've experienced that with my tarot channel. Since I started learning tarot in 2006, I've always loved tarot. And I've had some level of success with this channel. And I'm at the point now where, for a little over a year now, I've been able to live off of doing my work as a tarot reader. But yeah, there are moments when that aspect of it does make it harder for me to connect to simply the joy of being a healer and having this ability to tap into psychic insights that is inherently enjoyable to me. But with the monetary aspect, it does, I will just say from my personal experience, I understand what your guides are trying to tell you here. So that may happen, and then you just have to work on it and remind yourself, like, okay, I'm doing this because I love it. If you love it, the abundance will flow. And abundance is not just about money. Abundance is so much more comprehensive than that. Abundance is the whole shebang. Money is just a little bit of an aspect of abundance. There are lots of people who have tons of money. They're miserable people. You don't want that. Nobody wants that. So thank you as well, Ross. And thank you for everyone who showed up today. This was so much fun. I'm glad you all could listen to my silly stories and you at least being kind and respectful to me. And I hope that you all got something enjoyable out of today's live stream. The cherry on the top, yes. So thank you, everybody. Thank you always, Miss M, for helping me in the live chat. And I wish you all the best. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye. I think it's ending. I don't know. It's a little bit of a lag. This is a